Hey, what is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football with the Red Zone Blitz alongside of Ezra from Idiot Sports Talk. Ezra, we are currently watching the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos in overtime. We're going to do some reaction as the game ends here, and then we're going to get into Week 12. But first and foremost, how's it going?
Everything's good. Great day of football. Not personally for me because the Jets got crushed again, but it's a great day. And this Sunday night football game has been amazing so far.
I would probably say that's an understatement considering that the Patriots were down 24-0 early on in the game. But, I mean, right now it's 31-31. It's tied up. You see Tom Brady have, one of those Tom Brady-like games where he comes back in the second half. And right now, who has the ball? You got the Broncos with the ball. We saw something similar earlier today with the Packers and the Vikings where that game went into overtime. Both teams were only able to manage to kick field goals, and it ended in a tie. So we will be discussing that as the night goes along. Hopefully this game does not end in a tie as well. That would be really, that would go along well with what we're going to be talking about tonight. But score a touchdown, you win. Do you think Peyton Manning is going to do that right now with the Denver Broncos? They're on the 43-yard line right now. It's 3rd and 14.
Well, here he went for a deep pass, threw it up to Thomas. But Talib has been great tonight covering him, and that was an incomplete pass. So to answer your question, it's 4th and 14. Now they're going to punt the ball. So no, they're not going to score a touchdown right now. And it's amazing. The Patriots went on a 31 unanswered point streak in the second half.
Was it 31?
Yeah, because remember the
Right.
Broncos.
Yeah. Yep.
31 points. Okay, and the story before the tie game and stuff like that between both teams. How many balls on the ground tonight? 8 fumbles. And the Patriots was in the first quarter 3 fumbles, and I was joking about it throughout the game on Twitter and Facebook, because Ridley, he's been having his Tiki Barber problems the last couple games, fumbling the ball each game, and when he does that, Bill Belichick, he gives him timeout. You know what? You fumbled. I'm gonna put you at the end of the bench. Then comes in Blunt. Fumbles. Tom Brady, fumbles. And I know Ridley's like, this is not me right now, okay? This is the weather. I think it had to do a lot with the wind, the cold, their hands not getting a real good grip on the ball. And they deserve a lot of credit. The Broncos, it seemed like they had their hands all over the Patriots when they had possession of the ball. They kept knocking the ball out. It wasn't they were just dropping it. The Broncos were really forcing it.
Sorry about that. To me, it's really interesting to see how the Broncos do go up 24-0 early, and they just allowed the Patriots to stay in the game, and they allowed them to come back, and at the end of the game, they were the ones who had to fight to tie the game up. So I think it has to say something about their defense. A little bit more than their offense. I understand that there has been a lot of turnovers by both teams so far in this game, but I think the resiliency by the Broncos defense is not completely there at this point. Now, sitting here kind of trying to wait for this game to end, there have been some big plays made by Gronk, by Julian Edelman. So some of these
Julian Edelman, two touchdowns. He's been stellar tonight, especially in the red zone.
Brady makes players look good, regardless of who you are. That's just kind of the player that he is. He's always going to get the ball to where it needs to be. He's always going to have those leadership skills that are going to, allow the team to march down the field regardless of the talent at receiver or tight end or whoever you have on your team at that point. So now they try to set up Gostkowski for the game-winning field goal because, the Broncos weren't able to scrounge up any points on that first drive. See Tom Brady, incomplete pass to, I believe.
Tom Brady's livid right now.
Oh yeah, he's mad
because they just threw a slant into Thompson, and he wants a pass interference. First reaction, I don't believe it was a pass interference. Here's the replay. Ooh. Ooh. I want to see another replay. That looked very suspect. Oh, he's livid. You know, he's giving it to the refs right now. And watching that replay, they have a serious case. Oh, he's going to the sideline. He called timeout just to cool off. Tom Brady's livid right now. What did you think that was? Do you think that was pass interference? Look, they're going to show it again, the replay right now. Thompson. Oh yeah, he's had his.
That was a pass interference.
But it didn't look like.
Look at. He's already on him, and he was already touching him before the ball was there.
You could touch him. You just can't alter his.
Okay, but can you ride him like a pony?
You can't. Did he alter his or slow down his route?
Yeah. Did you not see the hand on the shoulder, on the back shoulder?
I saw the hand. I could put my hand on the shoulder. Doesn't mean I slow down your route. That's the argument right now.
It's debatable. I mean, if you try to.
If you're just looking for contact, that's a pass interference. But you have to, you know. They've been some. The Patriots, throughout this whole game, they've been banging. They offensively, on the offensive side of the ball, they've committed several pass interference calls that wasn't called tonight. They're letting them play tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, Grunk, Edelman, these guys are just bumping. They're setting up screens. If you watch basketball, they're setting up screens and picks for their fellow wide receiver. They've been doing it all night.
I mean, you got a 3rd and 4 here for Brady, and they're going to launch it down the field.
They better not call pass interference right there. They just threw it deep to Edelman. Edelman he fell on the floor. I think he tried to flop there. That wasn't. Let's watch this replay. This was a good flop. Look, he had him beat. He slowed down himself. Oh, he was talking about the arm. That was uncatchable anyway.
That was uncatchable, but I don't know if it was catchable. So
it wasn't catchable. He slowed down himself. So Edelman, he tried to flop there because he knew he wasn't going to catch that ball.
Oh, he's bleeding from his head. Hey, he's got a nice gash on his forehead. Who is that?
That's Jammer? Quentin Jammer?
Yeah, Quentin Jammer's bleeding real good. He's leaking. He's leaking.
Quentin Jammer. I didn't even know he was still in the NFL.
Oh, he's still in the NFL. I mean, this is just going to sit here and delay this game even more and delay our red zone blitz. But, who is that, Jammer? I don't know how he just gashed his head like that.
The helmet, probably. Who's going to win this game? Come on, David.
I picked the Broncos to win this game.
They're gonna receive the ball again right now.
Yeah, Welker trying to return this punt here, but I don't know. I mean, it can go either way. This is probably the top 2 or the top, one of the top 3 teams in the NFL. I'm gonna sneeze here in a second. Give me 1 second.
You gonna sneeze? Oh, okay. He's gonna sneeze. Off camera. Look at that. What a professional David is.
Yeah.
That's what you are. I'm gonna go. You know what? I haven't said it yet. Peyton Manning has been human tonight. He hasn't been himself tonight.
Well, he's been human the last couple of games. He's slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, well, I don't expect him to throw 7, 6, 5 touchdowns every single game.
No,
okay, but tonight he's been
turning the ball over.
He's been below average. If you compare it to any other quarterback, he's into the third quarter, he had like 73 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That wind is really affecting him, the cold. And he's actually throwing I don't know if Tom Brady is also, he's throwing the ball with a glove. I felt when they spoke about that earlier in the game, I know he's done it plenty of times, and other quarterbacks have done it before. As a person, that's played football, in the streets or whatever, I've never liked anything taking away my grip or anything like that from football.
I can vouch for both sides because I've done both. I've had out in the cold, you have to keep your grip, so you have to keep blowing into your hand or whatever you do to keep getting the grip. But on the other side of things, I used to throw with a glove that actually had a nice solid grip to it, and it allowed me to throw spirals pretty well. So, I mean, I can see different side of things there, and I mean, this is the NFL, so I'm pretty sure they have some of the top of the line gloves for you to do that. But it's
Anyway,
just,
it's still no excuse. Peyton Manning has played like crap tonight. I don't know
let's
why
see what they can do. They're on the 21-yard line. It's 3rd and 1.
They
They
just
need
got
to
a first
keep this
down.
going.
Megan Thomas just got a first down. Peyton Manning threw a strike like 8 yards away.
For all the viewers out there, just letting you guys know, we're going to be wrapping up this Denver Broncos and New England Patriots game with you guys, and then we will dive into Week 12 topics. The topic for tonight is, do you guys think that the NFL should change the rules regarding ties, where they would have to alter some of the overtime rules so that
This is not good.
there can't be ties anymore?
Marshawn's walking off the field. He's limping after a big run about 16, 17 yards, and he's had a huge. Oh, I hope I'm not facing him in fantasy. I haven't checked my fantasy in the last hour and a half. He has over 200 yards tonight rushing.
You don't usually see that.
He's had a big game right now. He just big game, about 17 yards, and he just ran off the field limping. He gets up immediately and just starts limping off.
You want to put Monty Ball in there. Monty Ball fumbled the ball earlier.
Everybody's been fumbling the ball tonight.
Looks like a twisted ankle.
Oh, there goes Talib also.
Talib's down.
He's got a huge gash on his forearm. His elbow area.
This is a physical game.
Who's got a knife on the field?
A knife?
Yeah, it seems like people are getting cut left and right. He's got a huge gash on his elbow. I know that's from the field when he went down. And then you was talking about Quentin Jammer. These Patriots, they're such dirty players. And someone's got a knife on them over there. Bill Belichick. I'm a Jets fan.
You're just saying that because you're a Jets fan.
Yeah, my Jets. Oh man. Oh, what a joke. What a joke. I remember last week I got on Geno Smith. This is another game.
Hey, hold on. Before you talk about Geno Smith, look at your TV screen and tell me what those things are below and above the 50-yard line.
Below?
They're painted on the field, and I can never...
You talking about the Patriots logo? What are you talking about?
It's not the Patriots logo. It's above and below the Patriots logo regarding the 50-yard line. There's these things. They're painted on the field. They're like silver, and I don't know what they are.
All right, I got to see. Well, if they show the view.
I can never figure what it is I'm looking at when it comes to those things that they always have out on the field there. If any of you guys who are watching right now know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, isn't that another logo? Isn't it like that logo you're talking about? In the middle of the field at the end?
Yeah, above
at the
like
far
the
50, ends. Yeah, far ends. Isn't that like it looks like a logo of a trophy or something?
I don't know what it is. I've always wondered.
With the yellow lines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that must be some type of...
Hey,
it looks like a trophy from the view I just saw it from. I just saw the Patriots mascot. He's just standing there watching the game. Why don't you, Joe, get this crowd into it? Why don't you get your defense hyped? See? Patriots. Stand them.
Hey, you got 6 minutes left in this game.
Almost another 10.
What if we have 2 ties in this week alone, man? That would be something else.
I can already hear it in your voice. You don't like this tie stuff.
I don't.
Here we go. Talib is back in. If I was Peyton Manning, I'd take advantage. The one-on-one matchup. He just was limping a few minutes ago.
Who's on him right now? Decker?
No. Tom. He's been playing. It seems like
Moreno's,
Thomas.
Moreno's toughing it out, man. They put Moreno back in the game. He's bleeding. His ankle's hurt. He's got, what, 200-plus yards today, and he's still going.
He's been the Broncos MVP easily. Did you see the wow?
Ooh.
Did you see? I was about to say. Did you see the particles that fell off the helmet when he tackled him?
What was that?
You gotta love HD because you would not see that 5-6 years ago. Goes Peyton Manning. Oh, good breakup. That was Walker. He had it in his hand.
That's Chandler Jones, wasn't it? What was that?
I have no idea. That was a good hit. It wasn't going to be a first down anyway, but it was a good hit.
Oh, man. Under 5 minutes. Both teams are tied. They can't score any points.
There you go. Boom. Oh, good breakup right there.
Who's the defender there?
Number 91. Look at the punter. He's wearing a...
Yeah. It looks like he's about to rob
someone. I was about to say... He said, if this puncher job don't work out, I'm gonna hit up. I want to know
something. Everybody who's watching right now, throw in the comments in the FanDuel comment box if you're watching this game or not with us. I was just curious to see if anyone else is watching this with us, or you guys are just kind of just listening to the commentary. Throw those down in the FanDuel comment box. Something I'm curious about. Also, don't forget to throw down your comments regarding the NFL rules regarding ties, whether that should be changed. And what's the alternate? What's the alternative? What can you change the rules, or how can you alter the rules to change ties to where you're gonna have a winner, you're gonna have a loser for sure. So I'll be checking up on those comments in the FanDuel comment box shortly. We're about to see a Denver Broncos punt here, and it looks like there's a New England timeout. So not only is this game in overtime, but they just keep prolonging this game even more. So we're going to stick it out, and we're going to stick with you guys through it. Me and Ezra on a Sunday night of the Red Zone Blitz.
Yeah, it means after this game, we have to hit rapid fire and start, go over our topics, talk about some of these games today, some of our key games. There's going to be a couple of nice candy-dandy games today. That's what I say. I say candy-dandy. I don't know what it means, but I say
Ezra, why don't you dress up as Aaron Hernandez for Halloween?
Why didn't I? Was that in the comments?
No.
That's just you asking me.
Yeah.
So you're being racist.
I'm not being racist.
I already look like him enough to other people. I don't know why.
Yeah,
he looks like me. I'm older than Aaron Hernandez, so he looks like me. Let's get this right. Well, look at that. 36 passing attempts. Peyton Manning's only got 150 yards. He's got a 70.4 QB rating, which to me that's a worthless statistic. I've never liked that statistic, QB ratings. That's why I never use it really.
If it was out of 100 like the QBR, maybe it'd be a little.
QBR is worthless to me too.
I just don't know how they determine. I don't know how they determine all that stuff. If I knew a little bit more.
Oh, there you go, Wes. Ooh, Edelman. Edelman with a big gain right now. 40-yard line now.
Edelman just kind of come out of nowhere this year and been that go-to guy for Brady.
He's always been that scrappy, a little annoying guy. He's just getting his. He's just, when you lose a guy like Wes Welker who gets 100 receptions each year, it opens up a lot of opportunities for other wide receivers.
9 receptions, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Julian Edelman today. You don't ever see that with him last year. I mean, that's just, I think, it goes to show you what Tom Brady does to his receivers, man.
Well, he does, yeah, of course he does. He does great things with his receivers, but is Edelman going to be Wes Welker, 100-plus receptions leading the league? I don't know about all that.
Well, you know what? That's why they bring in Danny Amendola. They thought he could be that guy, but he's always hurt. I'm going to check the FanDuel comment box here in a second.
Here we go. Chris Collinsworth. It must be so cold. Whew. Here we go. Oh, good hit on Tom Brady. Broncos. At least the Broncos defense has stepped it up ever since this game has gotten tight. Wookie Collin, he writes, I'm watching the game, rooting for the Pats. Great game, one of the best of the year, so for sure. Yeah, it's been a great game. You know which game I wish I could watch completely? Matter of fact, we will watch completely, but it'll be during the middle of the week with NFL Rewind, is the Chiefs and Chargers game.
Hey, you got that?
Yeah, we get that, man. We're going to get that today,
right.
tonight, tomorrow. We're going to get that. But the only thing I don't like about NFL Rewind, you have to wait till Tuesday to watch the games.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wait till all the games are complete, which to me, you know, it's kind of annoying.
I cannot find these comments. I'm on the video. I'm looking down at the comments. I don't see any comments. You think you could send me a link to those, if possible?
All I see is one comment right now. I know Facebook has got their little. I mean, YouTube's got their Google Plus comment thing now. I haven't done too much research on that yet, but I'm hearing and reading it's a lot of no. Oh.
And that's the game. That's the game. That's the game.
Wow.
Talk about controversial ending.
You're not talking about controversial. You're talking about idiotic awareness.
That's a field goal. They're just going to kick the field goal.
Look at this.
Who is this? Is that?
That's one of the gunners. That's Wes Welker. I'm not going to blame it on the gunner. I'm going to blame it on Wes Welker.
Why are you going to blame it on Wes? Look at Wes. He's going like this, like back off.
It's too late. It's too late. You can't go like this when the ball's already less than a second from hitting the ground. You got to give your gunners enough time to, because, you know, they're paying attention to their guy. They're not paying to the ball. Wes Welker's, that's his job, to pay attention to the ball, to give an indication, you know what, break away or I'm going to make a return. I'm going to catch the ball and make a return. That's Wes Welker's fault. I know number 32, I don't see his name. It's his fault that the ball hit him. You know, he made it a live ball, but look, he's paying attention to his guy. He is a gunner.
Look at Wes. If they show you Wes again, look at Wes.
He's a blocker.
Look, just watch. If they show you Wes,
look at Wes.
Just watch him.
It's too late. That's way too late. That's way too late. Do you hear Chris Collinsworth? It's up to the returner.
Chris Collinsworth is a bum.
Okay? And he used to be an NFL kick returner also.
I know.
So listen to that man. Even though I'm not a very big fan of his either, but still. It makes sense. Oh, man, unless the Broncos get a... That's Wes Welker's fault. He helps out the Patriots again. He's a Patriot to the end. Unbelievable. Peyton Manning, get rid of him.
Alrighty, we're about to wrap this one up because I'm assuming they're just gonna try and.
They're gonna just try a field goal. No, they got the ball.
There's no point in killing the clock though. I mean, you have too much clock left.
They're not trying to kill the clock. He positioned the ball so it can be straight in the middle.
Oh, got you. Gotcha.
Hopefully a Broncos block the kick. That'll be nice, right? This game has been crazy.
If the Broncos block this kick, this game is going to end up being tied. Unless a field goal gets returned for the touchdown, this game is going to end up tied if they block this kick.
You're trying to ice the kicker? It's only like 20 yards away. It's like about what, 33-yard field goal.
We should have probably waited to start the red zone blitz after this.
It's okay, man. We'll get this. We'll get through this. You know, I like this a little bit. We get to talk about some of the decisions they make. Talk about how it's Wes Welker's fault, and for some reason you don't believe it's his fault. Last second he goes like this. Wes Welker, come on, man.
Well, sometimes you have to see how the return is going to play out. It's like, okay, am I going to have enough room to run if I receive this?
But he already made a decision. He took a step back a long time ago. He could have told his guys, no, I give up.
Can we just end this game? I mean, they got Brady back out on the field. Can we just end this game?
They got him doing QB sneaks.
Jeez.
Kicking on third down. Here we go.
Get the field goal kicker out there and let's get this going here.
I got Tom Brady with a mean comeback. With a mean comeback.
Anyway, I mean, 2-minute warning, 31-31 overtime. We got guys like Wookie Collin. Watching out for us. Might be the MVP tonight just because 18 Lockhart. If you're going to end up watching this or if you are watching this, usually the unofficial official commentator of the Red Zone Blitz. You got Wookie Collin out there right now throwing down the first comment for tonight. For everyone else watching, the main topic for tonight, should games be allowed to end in ties in the NFL? That's going to be the main topic for tonight that we will discuss. So throw those down in the FanDuel comment box. We will get to those later. After this game with the Broncos and the Patriots, we will be discussing all the matchups or most of the matchups that went on today and the results and what we think. And, you know, it's playoffs are right around the corner. So there's a lot to discuss, a lot to bring up and mention. So we will get to that as soon as this field goal goes through the uprights for the New England Patriots. Now, again, just throwing that out there. If anyone else is watching the game here with us, just let me know in the comments. Just curious to see who else is watching. I know Wookie Collin said he's watching the game. He's rooting for the Patriots, and he says that it's a great game, one of the best of the year for sure. And I don't think I could disagree with you. I mean, you got, like we mentioned earlier, you got the Broncos up 24-0. Patriots march back 34-24, and the Broncos have to punch it into overtime. So a big mistake by the Broncos here on a punt return that, you know, fumbles the ball, gives the Patriots great field position. Looks like they're about to kick this field goal to win the game. We're about to find out and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Gaskowski.
Block this field goal. Block this field goal. Game over. That's it. Patriots win. Complete the comeback. Down 24-0 with 31 straight points to answer them. Broncos come back to tie the game. A mistake by Wes Welker gives the Patriots to win the game. Put them in great position. But you know what? Overall, if I had to blame anybody, it's Peyton Manning and that defense. Okay?
Yeah, it wasn't a Peyton Manning-like performance tonight at all.
No. So I'm leaning towards more Peyton Manning than the Broncos defense, to be honest. Just wasn't himself tonight. He had a great rushing attack. But he just wasn't himself, and I think that had a lot to do with the weather. And, you know, that's been a knock on him in his career. It is what it is. I hate the cold. I hate the cold personally. And if I was the NFL quarterback, I would probably suck in the cold weather. So not everybody could be Brett Favre, you know? Not everybody could be Brett Favre in the cold weather.
I mean, not everybody can be Brett Favre, but I don't know if Brett Favre was, you know, always the best in cold weather either.
You had to pick someone in cold weather. Who you gonna pick?
Someone in cold weather? I don't know. I don't really. I don't know if
I Brady or Brett Favre.
Don't give me none of that Brady because of the 2002 AFC game though.
No, I'm not saying
AFC Championship game.
I'm not saying because of that. I'm just saying Brady's performed pretty well in the cold. He plays in New England, so.
Let's get rolling, man. Let's get rolling with the Red Zone Blitz. For those tuning in, for those who have been with us, we just got done wrapping up the Broncos and the Patriots game. The Patriots win in overtime 34-31 on a mistake with a punt return by Wes Welker. Didn't call off his gunner. Gunner gets touched by the ball. Patriots recover deep in Broncos territory where they kick the field goal to win the game in overtime. We will be taking your comments tonight in the FanDuel comment box. Throw your comments down regarding whether the NFL should change the rules allowing ties to be the result of NFL games like we saw today in the Packers and Vikings game. Should they be allowed? Should they not be allowed? Why? And what is your alternative for switching out of ties in the NFL? I have my answer for that. I have my opinion on that. Ezra, if you don't, devise that soon. We will get to that later in the show. But again, throw those comments down below. We will be getting some of the matchups that we saw early on in the NFL at noon. I kind of want to start with, I think the Tampa Bay and Detroit game was a noon game. That one was very interesting because we did see Tampa Bay start off to an 0-7 start earlier this year, and now they're, is it 2-8?
Three straight wins.
3 straight.
They started off 0-8. Now they have 3 straight wins to Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And did you happen to catch how that game ended? The last play of that game?
No, I didn't see the last play of the game.
The Lions were trying to march back. Matthew Stafford, I don't want to say threw a bomb, but he threw a deep pass to Calvin Johnson. Now, here's where it just kind of went from Lions fans about to cheer to, oh man, we just lost this game. Calvin Johnson reels the ball in, and I cannot remember the defender who hit Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson goes to turn with the ball, and as he turns, he gets hit. I believe the helmet of the defender hits the ball, pops the ball out, and another Buccaneers defender happens to be there, scoops the ball up. It wasn't a fumble, it was an interception to end the game. 24-21, Buccaneers winning their 3rd straight game over a Lions team who really could not have afforded to lose this game because now they're tied with the Bears and the Packers are right on their tail at 5-1. So you saw a game where Matthew Stafford throws for 3 touchdowns, but also threw for 4 interceptions there, 297 yards. Calvin Johnson had a pretty Calvin Johnson-like day, 7 receptions, 115 receiving yards. But this was about the Buccaneers going on the road, defeating a pretty solid Lions team who now fall to 6-5. I don't know if you caught any of the highlights or anything of this game, but some opinions on the result of this one. Mike Glennon looking pretty solid yet again, not making too many mistakes.
And he had 2 touchdowns, but the Lions, 4 interceptions by Stafford, and they have 3 fumbles also. Altogether, they had 5 turnovers. Detroit, they did it to themselves. They shot themselves in the foot. They pulled a plex, and it is what it is.
And guess what? They shot themselves in the foot, I think, 2 weeks in a row, last week being against the Steelers. So this team could be, if you want to count these last 2 games as wins, some Lions fans probably believe they should be 8-3, but now they're 6-5. So really interesting dynamic going on in the NFC North right now.
When they should be taking advantage, the Lions had, with Jay Cutler's injury, Aaron Rodgers' injury, the Vikings sucking, okay? The Detroit Lions should have positioned themselves. They're like the Cowboys, in a sense. They both should have been controlling their divisions at this point. But now they're both fighting for their position in their division. It is what it is. They just have not taken advantage of their situations at all.
We'll see. I mean, this is a team that made the playoffs a couple seasons ago, lost in the first round to the Saints, and they hadn't made the playoffs up to that point since, I believe, 1999. I think that the Lions are one of the teams that have maybe the most talent altogether, collectively on their team, but they just can't get it done. For whatever reason, they're a team that has talent but can't win. They shoot themselves in the foot. They make stupid decisions. Their coaching staff, like Their play calling at times is kind of questionable. So this division might come down the last week or two regarding who wins it and who might clinch a wild card spot. But the NFC North, the NFC altogether right now is very competitive. Another NFC matchup that went down today was the Bears in St. Louis. Now this was a bit surprising to some. To me, I actually picked the Rams to win this game. The result: Rams 42, Chicago 21. You had Josh McCown as the guy who passed for the most yards in this game, 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. The thing where I think most people saw where they showed the highlight of Tavon Austin having a 65-yard run for a touchdown. Tavon Austin has actually started to be utilized in the last couple of weeks. I think 2 weeks ago is when they defeated the Colts 38-8 in Indianapolis, which was, I think, a huge shocker to me. Now this week they beat the Bears, who were 6-4 going into this one. Now they fall to 6-5. The Rams are picking it up a little bit, and Tavon Austin is a huge contributor to that team, who has seen Sam Bradford leave to a torn ACL. They've seen some guys not really perform up to their standards, like a guy who they bring into the season at running back being a Darrell Richardson, who hasn't performed well at all. They need some kind of life on that offense, and Tavon Austin the last couple of games has been able to do that for them. Let me take a look at his stat line for the St. Louis Rams. Yet Austin only had 2 receptions, 39 yards, but that big rush play or running play that he had really kind of set the momentum, I guess you can say, for him. That happened early on in the game in the first quarter with just 13 minutes and 30 seconds in the first quarter. What is that? A minute or two into the game, Tavon Austin runs for 65 yards against the Bears. So this game, again, huge for the Rams to kind of keep any kind of playoff hopes they have alive with a very strong Seahawks team, a very strong 49ers team, a Cardinals team that beats the Colts today. What are they at now? 7-4, I believe the Cardinals are. You got the Rams who are 5-6. I don't see them making the playoffs, but if they even want any shot, they have to win out, and they won this game today against the Bears team, who, again, like the Lions, needed to win to kind of have some kind of legitimacy in the NFC North. They fall to 6-5.
Remember last week, one of the guys in the comment box asked, what do you believe the record is going to be, the final record of the Bears? What did I say? I said Rams, no hesitation. They were going to lose. This team is on a roll right now, and the Bears can't stop the run at all. And that was the key for the Rams today. Like you said, Austin had 1 rush for 65 yards, but as a team, they had 258 yards and 29 carries, which comes out to 8.9 per carry. You had Stacy, who was injured, and I don't know if I think he's going to have an MRI. He had 12 carries for 87 yards, and then you had his backup coming in. I think he's probably the 3rd string. He was 3rd on the depth chart. Cunningham, he had 13 carries for 109 yards with a touchdown. So it's just the Bears' rush defense is non-existent, and they're missing. McNown has played great as a backup quarterback. He's done a fantastic job. I think he was 2-0 as a starter. But I think they need their guy back, and especially they need to do something. They need to make some changes, some schemes on that defensive side of the ball when it comes to the running game, because they're getting killed over there right now. But the Rams are on a roll. And we both picked the Rams. You picked the Rams. I picked the Cardinals in this division to be, pretty scary. And besides the Panthers, who we're probably going to talk about, it's probably the hottest team in the NFL right now. The Cardinals are what, a 4-game, 5-game winning streak?
It's something along those lines. But again, like you said, I mean, I'm a little bit more surprised at the Cardinals being where they are than the Panthers being where they are, just because that the NFC West is a bit of a harder division.
Well, now I was going to say, can we say right now, off the top of my head, I'm going to say, I think for sure we can all say the NFC West is the best division in football.
I think so. I think you can say that.
Because the Rams and Cardinals are no joke. They're no gimmies. They're no easy wins. And there's only one losing I think the Rams are technically the only losing. They are the only losing team in that division right now, and they're 5-6. So
let's head to your team here. Let's talk about the Jets. Tough loss today against the Baltimore Ravens, defending Super Bowl champs. Got to throw that in there. You know, a team that wins a Super Bowl deserves that title. But 19-3 was the final score there. I think I should let Ezra take this one away, since it is his team.
You just want me to rant. You just want me to go off.
Do what you do best. Do what you do best.
I get emotional when it comes to the Jets. I don't speak like a sports enthusiast and all that. I get pissed off when I talk. Especially when I watch performances like this. Last week, like I said on here, I'm tired of their excuses for Geno Smith and this and blah blah blah. Again, he played like crap. But today, I'm more pissed off. It seems like one game each year, Rex Ryan seems to piss me off. And this is one of those games. When Geno Smith doesn't have it, you need to stop the loyalty, okay? I don't care for Geno Smith's confidence. I want to see my Jets in the playoffs. I don't want to see Geno Smith smile, okay? I don't care about his personal feelings about him losing, being pulled from a game. Don't care about that. If he's playing like crap, like Dean Milliner, or any other rookie, or any other player, pull him and give the other guy a shot. Give the team a shot. Give them a spark. Do something. Geno Smith did not have nothing going on today. All right? His wide receivers, which I knew going into this year was going to be a problem, did not help him out. He had 5 drops. But, that's why you got to change it up. Throw a curveball. You got to try to give the team a spark. So maybe see what happens. The Jets last week had a position. They had the second wild card. Now with 2 games lost straight, they gave the Titans the spot. Now they're in the hunt with the Steelers, Browns. No, not the Browns. There's about 6 teams. There's 5. The Chargers have a shot at the second wild card because of the Jets' offense. The Jets' defense played spectacular today. All right, they held the Ravens to 67 yards rushing out of 31 attempts. Joe Flacco, even though his statistics say he threw for 273 yards, he wasn't as effective as his stats would say. He was 17 out of 26, and the Ravens' offense really did not get in the flow, and the Jets held them to field goals throughout the whole game. But, once a team is on the field, a defense is on the field for too long, they get tired, and eventually Joe Flacco took advantage of that and scored a touchdown. And by the 4th quarter, it seemed out of hand because of the way the Jets' offense was rolling. And it was just it's a third down problem. First, I thought in the beginning of the year, it was Geno Smith's long ball, okay, his ability to throw down the field was lacking. Now his decision making hasn't progressed. It just hasn't. I gave him a lot of credit for poise and all that, but right now I felt like I really did. I did write this. I missed Mark Sanchez today. That's how bad Geno Smith was today. I missed Mark Sanchez. I missed Mark Sanchez. Can you believe I said that, David?
No.
Okay, it's just our third down conversions was ridiculous. We were 1-12, 1 for 12 on third down conversions today. You can't win. You can't win an NFL game going 1 for 12 on third down. It's plain and simple.
To me, every time I kind of look at results, just scoring results, to me, just the Baltimore Ravens usually win. When they win, they don't put up too many points. I think the Baltimore Ravens are a beatable team as long as you have the offensive weapons to be able to put up 23, 24 points, because the Ravens usually put up, anywhere from 17 to 22 and to win a game. If you can put up more points than they do in that department, I think you'll be fine. As for the Jets, like you've just been mentioning this whole time, the Jets offensively are struggling a lot. Defensively, I think they're a very solid team with some of the guys that they've been able to bring in, besides the exception, of course, D. Milner, who's been struggling. I I think there's two sides to this team. You have a very good defensive team, and then you have a very bad offensive team. So the Jets, I think, have to go probably draft a lot of offensive players in this upcoming draft to kind of stay, have any shot of producing offensively come next season. Now I'm gonna see if I can try and get my buddy, who's a Dolphins fan, on, because I know he watches his Dolphins. See if we can get that game taken care of. Get him on the phone. Let's head over to Jacksonville and Houston. Now this team in Houston keeps me scratching my head every single week. You've got Andre Johnson just coming out. He's like, you know what? We just suck. We cannot win a game. We can't do anything right now. This is a team who just lost to, what, 1-9 Jacksonville Jaguars team. Let me take a look at the records here, because I know both of them.
They
now
scored
have the same
6 points against the Jaguars.
That's laughable. They're both 2-9. Both 2-9. They lose at home to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, remember, everyone's pointing the fingers at Jacksonville like they're the laughing stock of the NFL right now. Well, you know what? The Texans have the same exact record. So who's really the laughing stock regarding?
At this point, as of today, you know, maybe the Houston Texans. I mean, but if you really think about it, it's still the Jaguars, because at least you can point to some key playmakers on the offensive and defensive side of the ball for the Texans. You can't really say so much on the Jaguars, and then whoever guy you pick besides Cecil Shorts is pretty getting up there in age. But this was a total. We should have called this the toilet bowl. Seriously, we shouldn't even be talking about this. This was a crap. It was a turd of a game.
I'm trying to go. Distribute the wealth here.
They don't deserve any wealth, okay? Because they didn't show us any. Why do they deserve any? The Houston Texans are done. I don't think anybody imagined this was going to be a top 3, top 5 draft pick team. I don't think anybody envisioned that. That's what the Texans are. They lost to the Jaguars today. The Jaguars. And you know what? Their head coach, Gary, I think he can kiss his job goodbye at the end of the year. I think he can kiss his job. Yes.
Hold on. We're getting our Dolphins insider here, quote unquote. See if we can get a guy on the phone here.
I saw that Dolphins game.
All right, we got our buddy Sean Coyle here. We got the Panthers winning 20-16 in Miami, and it was a tough game to watch if you were a Dolphins fan. The score at halftime was 16-6. You're thinking, the Panthers have been struggling offensively, but the Panthers were able to come back by some of the plays that Cam Newton was able to, just kind of create, and they win the game 20-16 to put them at an 8-3 record. Sean, we got you on the phone right now live. What are some of the things that you saw that really concerned you with the Dolphins' performance?
Well, Steve, I've noticed that the Dolphins always are just a great first half team, but in the second half they're just completely different. I mean, the offense shuts down, the defense is giving up bigger plays, but I mean, you got Cam Newton at quarterback for the Panthers. He's just an excellent player, and you can't deny the fact that he isn't going to come back. At least put some points on the board. I mean, they are an 8-3 team, so they're pretty darn good.
What I guess I can say, who was the guy that really disappointed you out there today regarding the Dolphins? Just kind of one player to point out.
One player to point out that really disappointed me was Lamar Miller.
I
mean, yeah. Granted, we have we can't generate much push on the offensive line, but it's point blank. You can't win when you only have 12 yards on the ground total and just pass the ball. You can't win. regardless. And there's another player I'd like to point out is Mike Wallace. He should have made that catch at the end of the game. It was actually the best deep ball Tannehill's thrown all day because he was underthrowing him for that big gain and that touchdown earlier. But he point blank, Tannehill put it right on the money, and Wallace used his body instead of his hands, and that was the game.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. One last question for you. As a Dolphins fan, do you see the Dolphins making the playoffs at this point?
We have one big game next week against the Jets, but I mean I see that wild card as a 9-7 team that's going to win it. If we can win against the Jets and Pittsburgh, I think we have a darn good shot at it.
All right, that was my buddy Sean Coyle, huge Miami Dolphins fan. Sean, we appreciate you taking the time to be on this call.
Not me.
All right, thank you, David.
All right, thanks. That was my buddy Sean. You know, the Dolphins have been struggling. Mike Wallace, I don't think, again, we bring this up every single week, and you bring it up as well. You know, off-season winners or off-season champions don't make winners in the regular season. Mike Wallace, I don't think, has really lived up to.
It's not his fault today. I totally disagree with Sean.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's
hear it.
I watched the game, man. Okay, Tannehill left 14 points on the board. Okay, because Mike Wallace, they could not cover Mike Wallace today. He was absolutely open on 2 easy touchdowns. Okay, one was an underthrow, another one was an overthrow. I'm talking about that overthrow. He was an absolute walk-in for that touchdown. They would have been up by 2 possessions, and that was in the 4th quarter. And he had the opportunity, he had the time to make the throw, and he did not. And I know that's and especially when the Dolphins, and Dolphins fans will agree, when he does have time, that's the moment that you need to shine, because you don't get that's like finding a diamond. It doesn't happen very often right now because their offensive line is basuta. Okay, that's the Spanish word of the day. But that's not Mike Wallace's fault. In the end, yes, he had a chance to make an incredible catch. He had to make an incredible catch out of a Hail Mary at the end. That's not Mike Wallace. It shouldn't have been to that position. Shouldn't have been at that point. If Tannehill would have made his throws, okay, maybe if they had a little bit of running game, maybe they would have won this game. But it's not Mike Wallace's fault today. Not at all. He was actually carrying that team offensively today. How about that?
Yeah, and I mean, some people don't know how to do math, and I'm going to give you guys a quick math lesson here. You have 5 offensive linemen on your team. You don't have Jonathan Martin. You don't have Richie Incognito. You got Mike Pouncey doing, I don't even know if Pouncey was out on the field. What does that mean? You got 40% of your offensive line left to protect your quarterback. You're not gonna have a successful running game with second string guys. You're not gonna have a successful passing game when you can't give enough time to your quarterback to pass the ball. So the Dolphins, to me, I don't see them making the playoffs just because.
They played the Jets.
Oh,
that's
okay,
why.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's take a quick, brief moment to throw out some of our, Facebooks and Twitters of the world. You guys can catch us on Facebook, facebook.com/WakeUpItsFootball. You got Ezra at facebook.com/IdiotSportsTalk. You guys can also catch us on Twitter as well for those guys who love to tweet and do all that kind of crazy Twitter 140 character stuff. We're on there as well. Just look us up. David Rantisi, Wake Up It's Football, Idiot Sports Talk. Search bar, you'll find us. And also today's Red Zone Blitz is brought to you by FanDuel.com. Join a one-day league for real money. League winners get their money instantly, and a new season begins the next day. That is FanDuel.com. You must be 18 years or older to gamble. Click the link below for more details. We got more matchups coming up for you guys here. Let's talk some San Diego and Kansas City. Now, this surprised me a little bit because couple reasons. First of all, let me take a look at some statistics and stuff because, obviously we don't memorize these off the top of our heads. You have a score of 41-38 that is very unlike the Chiefs to begin with to put up 38 points in a game, because usually you're going to see them lose or win a game by, a score of 20-17 or 23-16 or something along those lines. Well, this game ended 41-38, Chargers on top. They played this game in Kansas City. The Chiefs have lost 2 games in a row. Now they're sitting at 9-2. Let's take a look at some of the scoring drives if I can find these, because I'm not too sure. I mean, you had Donnie Avery for the Chiefs scoring. You had Jamal Charles on a couple of touchdowns. Anthony Fasano, Dwayne Bowe. So I mean, these were all offensive scores. As for the Chargers, let's take a look here. You got some field. You got Danny Woodhead, Ryan Matthews, Ladarius Green had a 60-yarder from Phillip Rivers. Saij Arzri-Atutu, one of my favorite names to say in the NFL. So this was all offense. There was no really defense. Now, one thing that needs to be noted here before we let Ezra take the helm on this one. You got Tamba Hali, who went out with an injury. You had Justin Houston, who went out with an injury. These guys are their top pass rushers who get absolute, the most pressure on opposing quarterbacks. These guys are out of the game in the first half. So I think that probably contributed a huge deal to why the Kansas City Chiefs lost. But it was really surprising to see the amount of points that were put up in this contest.
I apologize. While you were talking there, I was sharing a video at the end of the Broncos-Patriots game. You know how they walk in the middle of the field so they get a handshake? One cameraman almost threw a punch at another cameraman, so I was watching that video.
I saw that, actually. I
didn't notice it. Joel Rodriguez.
I actually caught it when we were doing when we were on right here, and I saw somebody, I don't know if he went to punch him or push him.
He pushed. I think he more like push.
Yeah.
Or something like that. He's like, come on, man, that's my picture, bro, or something like that. So it was pretty funny. I was laughing at that. But the Chiefs, okay. A lot of people are getting on the Chiefs right now for losing 2 straight, saying, you know what, they're 0-2 in their quote-unquote real part of their schedule. And people are starting to have doubt that they're legit, contenders and all that. With this second straight loss, David, do you believe they're legit or not?
Oh, they're legit. It's just I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs because of their offense. Now, I know, yes, I just said that they scored 38 points. You got Dwayne Bowe. You got Jamal Charles, Donnie Avery doing their thing. That's fantastic. But for most of the season, they're not doing that offensively. They're not putting up all the points. So I think this is still a team that's going to probably average about 20 to 21 points offensively in a game, and they're going to have to rely on their defense to keep points off the board. If they can't keep up with a team like the Broncos, or a highly offensive team like maybe the Patriots, how are you going to beat these teams in the playoffs when it comes down to a divisional round game or maybe an AFC Championship game where your offense won't be able to keep up with them? So to me, it's they're a legit team who I think will make the playoffs, probably as a wild card because I think the Broncos will win that division. But I don't see them going far. I wouldn't be surprised if they get knocked out the first week of the playoffs just because of their offense.
What I think there was a problem today is, was even though they scored 38 like you mentioned, they didn't run the ball enough, okay? Your best offensive weapon is a running back, and he had 14 carries for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. How about you keep Phillip Rivers and that high-powered offense off the field with possession, okay? Running the ball, eating the clock. And I know a lot of Eagles fans know what I'm talking about when it comes to Andy Reid and these types of games. And I think that was their problem today. They just didn't run the ball enough. Overall, they had 18 carries. That's it. That's all they did. And in this type of game, and your best offensive weapon is Jamal Charles, and you only use him for 14 times. 14 touches? Are you serious? And while Alex Smith gets 38 attempts, even though he had a really good game today, you got to control the clock because you're not that type of offense. And you know what? Why do you think the Chargers came down and scored that touchdowns? Because they had too much time on the clock. So even though I still believe they're legit, that defense is good, They gave up 41 points today, but it happens sometimes. They're not going to be just because you're a great defense. You can't have a bad game. Everyone has a bad game. So let's just say collectively, the Chiefs had a bad game on the defensive side of the ball, and they had a shootout, and they did pretty well. Okay, so they showed some fight today, and I don't know if they're going to have an early exit because, you know, as long as you have defense, you got a running game, and you got a guy that's not going to turn the ball over, all right, they have a chance to, you know, do some things in the playoffs, especially in the cold weather situations. So, I don't know. I still like the Chiefs. I'm not going to get too down on them for losing back-to-back games. Let's not act like the Chargers are scrubs here. But I did foresee this, okay, that they're going to have problems with high-powered offense.
One team that I have to call into question is the Indianapolis Colts. Big time. I kind of backtracked just a little bit on the Colts here for a second. Let's break the Colts down. Okay. This is a team that loses to the Arizona Cardinals today, 40-11 in Arizona. Both teams are now 7-4. Let's kind of break down the stats of this game, and then let's kind of diverge into the Colts. First of all, Carson Palmer tears his defense up, 314 yards and 2 touchdowns. You had Rashard Mendenhall tear this defense up, 13 carries, 54 yards, 1 touchdown. I said tear up. That's because I used the wrong wording there. You got Michael Floyd, 7 receptions, 104 yards. This was all Arizona. Okay. Now, as for turnovers, there's really no excuse because the Colts were only, they only turned the ball over once. The Cardinals never turned the ball over at all. Some stat lines here. Here's a problem. You got Andrew Luck, 20-39, 163 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. There's no production there at all. Look at their rushing leaders.
Yeah, let's talk about that guy they traded for, their first round pick for. That guy that guy. What's that guy's name?
Am I seeing 4 carries right now? I hope they didn't only run the ball 4 times this entire game.
No, they ran it 15 times. But you're T-Rich, okay. Trent, I only go as far as 2.5 yards per carry. Richardson had 7 carries for 15 yards, 2.1 average. This guy has been an absolute super bust for the Colts. And who's smiling right now? Browns fans.
Give the Colts 1 season with him next year. I want to see Trent with a full off season. I don't know why I'm saying that. I have a feeling he might rebound next season, but I don't think it's Trent Richardson's year right now.
It hasn't been his year the last 2 years. Okay? He's got to turn this corner real soon, and the Colts need him. What did I say? They are missing Reggie Wayne. I don't care what stats T.Y. Hilton has been averaging since Wayne has been down. He is a leader. Like I said, when you have great players on the field, if they put up stats or don't put up stats, they still have a presence. They still have an effect on the game. When coaches play against the Colts, you line up, you set up devise a game plan for Andrew Luck, Reggie Wayne. So when Reggie Wayne's on the field, he makes it easier for everyone else around him. They're missing this man. They're missing his leadership, his presence on the field. They're missing everything about Reggie Wayne right now, and their offense has been stagnant since he's been down.
Let's look at the schedule that they have so far. The first 9 weeks of the season, they also had a bye week in it. I believe they were 6-2. Last 3 games are 1-2. So they're 7-4 altogether. Now look at their last 4 games. Week 9, they barely beat the Texans. Now we already know the Texans are a pretty bad team. They barely beat the Texans 27-24. In Week 10, they get punched in the mouth by St. Louis 38-8. They lose that game at home. They go on the road to Tennessee. They win that game by 3, 30-27. And the Tennessee Titans, in my opinion, are a very average team right now. Even though they're winning some games here and there, I like the Colts more as a team collectively than the Tennessee Titans. And now they lose this game today, 40-11. and they fall to 7-4, this team needs to be called in question. How do you do that bad against some very average, middle of the road teams, but you beat a team like the San Francisco 49ers, you beat a team like the Seattle Seahawks, you beat a team like the Denver Broncos, but you can't beat other teams who aren't as good as you are. That just goes to show you that, it doesn't matter who you play, it doesn't matter who you beat. By the end of the season, all you really need to have is a ticket into the playoffs, because to me, who you beat and who you play and your record and all this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So when everyone was hyping up the Colts as a team to watch out for, including myself, after they beat the Broncos, after you beat the Seahawks, after you beat the Niners, you might have to backpedal on that a little bit, because they also lost to the Rams and the Cardinals and the Chargers and the Dolphins. So I'm very leery, or however you want to say it, of the Colts right now. They still have a matchup against the Titans, the Bengals, the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Jaguars to end out their season. So those are all winnable games in my opinion. But they need to make sure they start getting their stuff together, because it's really easy to miss. It's really easy to miss the playoffs if you start slacking, and right now they're kind of slacking.
They're slacking big time. And I was going to ask an interesting question real quick. Out of all the division leaders right now, which one is more likely to fall down at the end? I guess there's three candidates, because I don't think you're going to pick the Seahawks, the Saints, the Patriots, Bengals, or the Denver Broncos, even though they're in a tight race with the Chiefs. I would imagine it'll be out of the Cowboys, Lions, maybe the Colts into this conversation.
Do you think the Titans are going to overpower them to win that division?
Well, not overpower them. I'm just saying struggle at the end. It's not the Titans are not scrubs. They could muster a 4-1 to end the season, okay, which will put them at 9-7. And the Colts, if they continue playing the way they're playing, they can easily lose to who are they face? The Chiefs, the Bengals, okay, and then you have to worry about is the Titans that already beat them. I don't think the Houston or the Jaguars will do it. So those are losable games. Just saying, and especially if the Titans and Colts end up with the same record, the Titans would have the tiebreaker.
I'm going to stick probably to either the Cowboys or the Lions losing their, I guess, grasp of their divisions before I would say the Colts. I still think the Colts are favored to win their division, but right now they're not playing good football. They're playing really bad football. That's 38-8 and now 40-11.
And I just read they've lost 5 offensive players to season-ending injuries this year. 5 offensive players.
And I didn't even realize what I just said. Did you realize that the Colts have beaten the 2 better NFC West teams in the Seahawks and the Niners, but then they lose to the 2 worst in the Cardinals and the Rams?
They get absolutely destroyed. Out of those 2 games, they lost a combination of 78-19. 78-19 to the Rams and Cardinals. But those teams are not scrubs, so it's not like anything. But it's remarkable, They crush the 49ers and they beat the Seahawks for their only loss and get absolutely destroyed by these other 2 teams.
I'm looking at the matchups for that went down today. I mean, we've covered a lot of them. Is there any, one in specific that you think we should hit on before we kind of? You got Dallas and Giants. You got Tennessee and Oakland.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking about talking about I want to give some praise because we've given a lot of praise to the Giants. for the last couple of weeks. They lost today, and then Cowboys actually finally took care of business. All right, Eli playing bad has finally caught up to the Giants. Again, he had another bad game today, and the Cowboys finally took advantage, and they put their foot on their throats, and they won their game. But the Steelers, I want to give credit to. This is another team that started 0-6, and now they've won 5 in a row. Okay, and now they're in the hunt. They have the same record as the Tennessee Titans that has this for the second wild card spot. And before the season started, remember, I picked this team to be a playoff team, and they're on a roll right now. Ben Roethlisberger, all through that stuff the last couple of weeks, when he wants to be traded in the offseason and stuff like that, he's been playing really well. Some of the best football he's played in years in this 5-game stretch, especially the last 3 games. And you just got to give up a lot of credit to the Steelers and their resiliency. And if we're going to give all that type of love to the Giants, the Steelers, in a tougher division, is doing this. So this team, people better watch out for. The Steelers are roaring back. And Ben Roethlisberger is a big part of that, and Antonio Brown, too, who's not getting enough credit. He's had a big game last week, and today he had a very solid game for, I think, it was 6 receptions, 92 yards for a touchdown.
Steelers are at 5-6. They take out the 4-7 Browns today, 27-11. I'm taking a look at their standings right now in the AFC North. You got the Bengals at 7-4. Now you got Pittsburgh and Baltimore tied at 5-6, and Cleveland down at 4-7. Now remember, this is a Pittsburgh team that got off to a slow start. What was their record earlier in the season when they were
0-6? Not a rough start. That was a disgusting start.
Were they really 0-6?
Yeah, the Steelers started 0-6.
No, they didn't.
No, 0-4. Excuse me. I apologize. 0-4. 0-4.
Yeah, I didn't think
Then they beat my Jets. I apologize.
0-4 is still a rough start. Not too many teams make the playoffs after an 0-4 start. So right now, in the last since week 6, they're 5-2. This is a team that could, make a comeback and clinch a playoff spot when it's all said and done. But they have to make sure that they beat the Ravens next week, that they beat the Bengals in week 15, and they beat the Browns in week 17, because it always comes down to divisional record. And when you beat the Bengals in week 15, that's going to be huge. They're the division leaders. They're the team that have already beat you once. You need to make that tied up. And I need to take a look at this Bengals divisional record right now, because that's huge as well. They're 2-2 in the division. If the Steelers can beat them in week 15, that very well could put I don't know, what do you want to say? It could lean the favor of the Steelers to win that division if they can kind of just at least, the very least, win the rest of their divisional games. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but I'm not a huge fan of that team right now. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of the Steelers. I still think this is Cincinnati's division to lose. They just have way too much talent. I don't think the Steelers will take the division, but like I said, the Titans have the second wild card right now at 5-6, which the Steelers have the same record now. So I'm saying if the Steelers, they're in the playoff hunt. It's not like they have the same record as the Titans. So all I'm saying is this team's on a roll right now, and they're in the playoffs. I think this is one of the teams that has nothing to lose, and that makes them very dangerous, especially when you have Ben Roethlisberger in the playoffs. We know what kind of quarterback he is in the playoffs in this division. I mean, in that defense, how they turn it up. So the Steelers can be very dangerous if they make the playoffs. And just to let you guys know, there are 6 5-6 teams in the AFC right now, all fighting for wild card spots. Jets.
Just one wild card spot, because no one's catching.
Sorry.
No one's catching the Chiefs.
One wild card spot, correct. You got the Jets, you got the Dolphins, you got the Ravens and the Steelers, the Titans, and the Chargers. So this is going to be a tight race to see who wins that other wild card spot. And
it's going to be a great week next week for matchups, because you got the Jets, Dolphins, okay. So boom, and then you got on Thanksgiving, okay. You got the Steelers and Ravens. So those 2 games right there is got features for those teams. So that's going to be a big week next week to determining this wild card stuff. So it's going to look dramatically different next week.
I can't wait for this Thursday because not only do I get to watch
And
some Green Bay Packer football, but it has to be man's favorite holiday when you can eat so much food, watch football, and not care about anything for the entire day. How awesome is that?
It's my second favorite holiday of the year.
What's your first?
Well, it's not really a holiday. It's Halloween.
Okay.
So if your official holiday, I would say Thanksgiving is my favorite.
Thanksgiving is.
My plans are I'm a play it in a turkey bowl. Okay, maybe hopefully I'll record it, show you some of my football skills, and then I'll let you guys determine my Madden stats, what my speed and strength and stamina and carrying will be. Hopefully I'll be able to record that, and then I'm gonna hit up like 3 different spots on Thanksgiving. Go with some families, go a bunch of different family houses and all that. Eat up some food.
Yeah, I'm going to be having Thanksgiving with my family as well.
What's your favorite meal, David? Come on. What's your favorite meal?
Well, what do you mean favorite meal?
On Thanksgiving.
It's got to be turkey, man.
Nah, sorry.
Yeah.
Turkey's definitely not my favorite one. I love turkey.
What do you like? Brussels sprouts?
You know what? I like benin, which is roast pork, okay? Roast pork. I'm going to be tearing that up. On Thanksgiving.
Stuffing?
Benin with some hot sauce?
No, none of
Arroz
this.
con Honduras? That's the only time I get Spanish.
Honduras, frijoles.
I didn't say Honduras, okay? I didn't say Honduras, okay, David? I said arroz. You know how I roll the R's? Arroz con gandules. I'm not French either.
Stuffing, turkey, green bean casserole, cheesy potatoes, some sweet potatoes. Hey, you ever try the sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top?
I don't like sweet potato.
Hey, I don't like sweet potato either. But when you have the marshmallows on top or something sweet on top, it just makes a world's difference.
Do you cook on Thanksgiving?
No,
that's a no.
Hey.
That's a no. That's all right. I don't cook either. I want to ask, and you hesitated, so you're
all right,
done.
Hey, we got a second topic for tonight's show. Throw these down in the FanDuel comments box. Not only do we want you guys to comment on whether the NFL should change the overtime rules so that there can be no ties in the NFL. So the question would be, do you guys think that the NFL should change the rules in overtime so that there's no ties? And what is the alternative to that, in the rule change? And what is your favorite food when it comes to Thanksgiving? Throw those down in the FanDuel comment box. We'll get to those shortly.
Let's hit up some of these questions in the comment box, and then we can talk about the topic of the night.
Talk about turkey.
Talk about turkey. Turkey. Let's hit up some of these questions. Should we talk about? Okay, Elliot Mock wants to know. Should we talk about the Seahawks? I guess which matchup are you more excited about? Seahawks Saints, Denver Chiefs, Part 2. Which matchup are you looking forward to more?
This is a no-brainer. This is no-brainer.
I think I kind of agree with you. I think I know where you're going to lean to. Let's see. Go ahead.
Seattle and New Orleans.
Okay, I'm with you. All right, Seattle and Saints. I think this is going to be more. I'm looking forward to this matchup a little bit more than.
This is like right now. This is like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
I don't know about all that. Let's take it easy.
No. I do know all about that because excluding the Broncos, these are the 2 teams that everybody's talking about. We already seen the Broncos and the Chiefs, and I already gave my spiel about how the Chiefs aren't going to be able to keep up with teams who have high-powered offenses. So I've already seen that. I already know what's going to happen. Now you got to. Well, where is this game being played? First of all, I want to know because it really does matter when it comes to.
I think it's at Seattle.
This is going to be a tough game for the Saints to win. Hands down, this is going to be a very tough game for the Saints to win. Can they win this game? Yes, because they're very capable of doing so, and their defense, unlike last year, can actually stop some teams. But I mean, this is two NFC heavyweights. I'd say the two best NFC teams in the league. So without a doubt, this is a game that you really want to watch next week. What's the time? Let me look up the time frame. I don't know if you have it or the time slot, because that definitely matters. I mean, if it's a Monday night or Sunday night game.
That's a Sunday. No, it's a Monday night game next week.
That's awesome. That's going to be the Monday night game of the year, I think.
Oh man, I have to work that day. I'm gonna miss out on. I mean, I watch a little bit of it, or I just can't sit down and enjoy it like I would like to. But honestly, I think this is the first. If you look at the Seattle Seahawks schedule, I think this is the first top 10 offense they're facing this year. So that's what intrigues me. They're going to be playing at home. You know, we know how tough they are at home, Seattle, but they haven't really faced a high-powered offense this year, and the Saints got defense. So I want to see if the Seahawks can keep up with the Saints offensively. And, you know, we have this matchup, defense versus offense, because, you know, you got a top 5 defense versus a top 5 offense. So this is a very juicy, meaty matchup that I'm looking forward to, and I want to see how the Seattle matches up.
Talk about Thanksgiving and meals and food and juicy and meaty. I'm gonna be chowing down on Thursday, and we're all gonna be chowing down on Monday, because this is gonna be a huge matchup that everyone is gonna be able to get to watch. So this is gonna be an awesome game. I'm looking at some questions. I'm slightly disappointed, guys. I'm slightly disappointed. I'm not seeing anything regarding the main topic for tonight. It's fine.
I see something in there. I see 2 comments about main topic tonight. Okay, we got Black Mamba 24 and the Starkey Sharky 100. I hope I pronounced that right. The Starkey Sharky. He also wrote something about that, but we'll get to their comments in a moment. We got another question, and this is for you from Wookie Kong. Is Matt Flynn the best backup option for the Packers in your mind after he led them back to a tie versus the Vikings?
Oh man!
It seems like Matt Ryan is the only time he only shines with the Packers, man.
You guys, man, I don't want to say I have no comment, but he kind of left, like, I don't know how to assess Matt Flynn. You go to Seattle, you get beat by Russell Wilson. You're not starting. You're on the bench. You go to Oakland, you get beat by Terrell Pryor. You have a small stint in Buffalo. Point is, we pick you up, and you actually lead us to a tie. But I don't know how to assess Matt Flynn. I don't know what the problem is. You know, early reports said he had elbow tendonitis. I guess he doesn't have it because he looked pretty decent today. I think he's gonna have, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back this Thursday, which there's a few rumblings that he might. I think Matt Flynn has to start. Now, do I think he can win us this game on Thursday? He did it in 2011, but I know it was at Lambeau. But he did it against the Lions, and he threw for 6 touchdowns, which is a Green Bay Packers franchise record. As for Scott Tolzien, I still like the guy. I still think that, you know, he might be a decent backup. But for whatever reason, when Matt Flynn entered that game, he just gave a spark to that offense. He was able to move the ball around a little bit more. His decision-making, in my opinion, is better than Scott Tolzien. There were times where he had to roll out of the pocket where he was being pressured, and he just threw the ball away. And for me, I have no problem with that at all. It's better to throw the ball away than to force a pass and have it get intercepted. That's perfectly fine for Matt Flynn to do, and he did it on multiple occasions. You know, I'd rather have a 2nd down and 10 than have a 1st down and 10, but the other team has the ball because Matt Flynn threw a pick. So his decision-making, in my opinion, was, for the most part, on point. He didn't make too many mistakes. He didn't turn the ball over today. So I think, you know what, from what I saw today out of Matt Flynn, I would not be I would be fine with him starting against the Lions on Thursday over Scott Tolzien, even though I like both of them, and I wouldn't mind either to start behind Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, oh, sir. Yes, sir. We got another question from Leroy Boss. I like that name, Leroy Boss. 15. Anyone else agree the Bears should stick with McNown from here on out? He's done everything the Bears needed him to do so far. So should they just ditch Jay Cutler or stick to their backup? David, you okay?
I'm thinking. I think they should stick with Cutler. I know McCown is a very good backup. I know he's been able to keep you in games. You got to stick with Cutler. Cutler is a better quarterback. He's a younger quarterback. He's a quarterback who I think is better in all aspects of his quarterbacking than Josh McCown. Or is it Luke McCown? Is it Josh McCown?
It's Josh.
I know Luke is on the Saints, I think. Point is, you got to stick with Cutler regardless. Now, I think Cutler's contract is up after the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I know they were talking about possible extension and stuff like that.
If you're Chicago, you have to re-sign Jay Cutler. You have to re-sign Jay Cutler because you have to. If you don't re-sign Jay Cutler, you have to ask yourself this question: who is out there for us to go out and grab and fill that role at quarterback and do a better job than Jay? Who's out there for us to go and grab or draft? I don't think anyone. I think Jay is a top 15, type quarterback in the NFL. You have to hold on. You have to try and re-sign him. I don't think he should get, $100 million deal or anything like that. But, give him some money. Throw some money his way and draft him another offensive lineman in the first round to keep him protected so he doesn't get hurt. So, that's my opinion.
Like I said, I like McNown a lot, especially when I watch some of these Bears games. He gives his receivers a shot at the ball because he knows he has big receivers with Marshall and Alfron, Jeffrey, and what he throws the ball up, and he asks these guys to make plays for him, and that's why his stats look good because they guys go up there because they're good enough and get the size and strength, and they just come away with the ball, and I like that. He says, you know what? I have these weapons. I'm going to use them, and that's what I really like about him now. But Jay Cutler, he just adds a different dimension. Now, I don't want to say intimidation factor for the other team's against the defense, but he adds respectability to the Bears' offense. Okay, I know McDonald has won 2-1 in his starts, but the game that they lost against the Redskins that Jay Cutler played in, McDonald played a large part of that game, and they still lost, even though it was a shootout there. And I think their biggest problem is their rush defense. It's their defense more than their offense so far this year. And it's funny talking about the Bears. I don't think it's the problem with the QBs. I think it's the defense. Jay Cutler is the better QB, so you finish the season with him.
Well, I think that leads us to our portion, the final portion of our show tonight, talking about the main topic that has, for our show. Should the NFL change the rules regarding overtime so that there can be no ties as results? We have some commenters down. I appreciate you guys' comments. You got the Starkey Sharky 100. He says, I'd like if they made overtime rules like college. Black Mama says that there should be no ties. They should do it like in soccer, whichever team can make the most 50-yard field goals out of 6. That would be interesting. And then Elliot Mock says he honestly thinks that the NFL should go to college overtime rules. Now, we have 2 of the 3 guys saying that they should do overtime rules, and I'm going to hit on this first because that's what I think they should do. Put the ball at the 25-yard line. Let the teams play it out. If you kick a field goal, great. Now give the other team an opportunity to get the ball at the 25 and either kick a field goal to tie it or score a touchdown to win. And just keep it going until a team wins. There's no reason for ties. Just ties. I don't want to say they complicate things. They just look stupid. I'm sorry. How'd your team do this week? Oh, we tied. Oh, and then at the end of the season, they're like, oh, how was your overall record? Oh, we were 10-6. Oh, we were 9-6-1. It's a mouthful. I don't like it. It's stupid. So I think they should go overtime rules that they do in college. That's my opinion.
I like the college rules. But I don't like the. I'll make some modifications. Like I wouldn't place the ball on the 25-yard line. I still want the kickoffs and stuff like that. Okay, I think that's that's a little ridiculous if you take away the kickoffs and punts and stuff like that. I don't want to place a professional team, guys that get paid millions of dollars. You spot them the ball. Don't like that.
That makes it more exciting, though. Would that not make it more exciting? You're gonna see a dose of offense on the opposing team's 25-yard line every single time.
No.
Every single time a team scores.
Because kickoffs is part of the game. Okay, punts are part of the game.
I don't care about kickoffs. Does anybody care about kickoffs besides Patterson? Besides Cordarrelle Patterson and what's his name on the Bears? I forget his name because that's all he does is return kicks.
And guess what? And when he does it, it's exciting. Kickoffs are exciting when it's a big play. All right, and like I said, these guys get paid millions of dollars to do that. Hester is, Hester because of what he does. I don't want to take that part away the game. All right, so I don't like that. It's just you're a professional. You got Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. You got all these other guys, and I'm gonna spot you on the 25. No, okay, you keep that in college. All right, where those quote unquote amateurs are.
Spot on the 35 then.
No, I don't want it. I want a kickoff.
I don't want a kickoff.
I do.
I want to see some excitement. I don't want to see a team kick the ball off and get stuck on their 20-yard line, have to punt the ball. I want to see scoring. That's what Roger Goodell is pushing. That's what all these teams and all these
and guys like
what brings in money? What brings in money?
Unbelievable.
What brings in money? Excitement. You need to have fans to be excited about the sport you're watching. What does that?
Placing people on the 25-yard line is going to bring huge excitement.
In overtime, I would be much more excited to see teams either kick a field goal or score a touchdown because that's scoring. You're scoring points. I would much rather see that than a team get stalled out on their 20-yard line, punt the ball on a 3-and-out.
I totally disagree with you, my man. I don't like that aspect. Like I said, overall, I got no problems with the college football overtime, especially in a third overtime. If there's a triple overtime, okay, I'm going to read this off of you. If a third overtime is needed, then teams are forced to convert 2-point conversions following a touchdown. They cannot kick an extra point, which is cool. I like that. That sounds super cool. Okay, how about maybe we make another modification. Maybe we start that from the first overtime.
Say that
Not
again?
the third. Okay, teams are forced to convert 2-point conversions, since you're all about excitement, David, following a touchdown, and they cannot kick an extra point.
That's fine.
I like that. That's another modification. I'll start that from the first overtime, not until triple overtime.
And, sorry, I just was going to chime in that Wookie Collins says that, at this point, he doesn't think they should change it because as of right now, ties really haven't had a huge impact on the playoff picture in years past, and they are also so rare in the NFL. You have 15 minutes to score a touchdown, and the game is over. So, teams, I guess, as of right now, do have opportunities to win, but for whatever reason, when ties do happen, it's like, oh, we ended in a tie.
Yeah, well, in some ways, I agree with Wookie Collin. Like, once again, I bring up professionals. You have this amount of time. Before all these changes happened, I always agreed with sudden death. Because my thought is, and still is, you get paid, you're a professional, to stop the other team's offense. Plain and simple. I don't think you should be given an opportunity to respond. I don't care if you lost a toss or such and such. You get paid to play defense. So do it. Don't complain about the coin toss. Stop the guy and get your team, your offense, the ball, and let them score a touchdown or a field goal to win the game. I had no problems with the sudden deaths before this change of this the last couple years. So that was me originally. But if we're gonna lean forward, I don't believe so.
You're replicating both teams having the ball. You're allowing both teams an opportunity. If you want to kick a field goal, that's fine. Kick a field goal because if you can't get in the end zone. But now the other team gets the ball, and if they score a touchdown, they win. They score a field goal, they tie. You keep going until somebody wins. But
I like the sudden. I used to like the sudden death. It did not bother me at all because both teams had an opportunity the first 60 minutes to win the game. 60 minutes. It's not like you didn't get an equal opportunity. You did. You had 60 minutes to win the game. You did not get the job done. So sudden death I had no problem with that. Because you had plenty of time, plenty of possessions, plenty of drives, plenty of opportunities to do your thing. So don't cry to me or cry to anybody else about the rule book. I didn't get a chance, an equal chance to respond. Okay, this is not fair. No, it's completely fair because you had plenty of chances.
If you want to talk about fair, statistically, the team back in sudden death. Statistically, the team that won the coin toss.
Yes, was won the game 60% of the time.
Okay, now listen. Now is that fair to you? 60-40.
Yes.
That split. That's fair to you.
Yes.
Okay. Now how about this? Because
this split? Because they had 100% chance to win the game in 60 minutes, and they didn't.
The point is both teams put up the same amount of points.
Well, guess whose fault is that? The teams.
Would you rather see a 60-40 split or a 50-50 split? Which one is more fair when comparing the numbers?
How do we know this is a 50-50? Show me the
stats.
Both teams,
because
show
both
me
teams
the
get an
stats that says
opportunity.
50-50. Show me. Okay, who won the coin toss tonight? Patriots did, right?
Patriots, yes.
Who won the game?
Patriots.
Oh.
That's one game.
Oh, baby!
Hey,
that's
one game.
Man. Suck it down. Slam. Chop, David.
That's one game. Toss. That's one game. You know what that puts your split at? 100-0.
Exactly. So far, your changes seems pretty unfair.
No, I would rather see a 50-50
study from
than
this
60-40.
moment on. Ezra's Idiot Sports Talk study shows the new NFL overtime rules is 100% coin toss. Seems like it's a loser so far to me.
That's ridiculous. All right, let's get to. I don't even want. I'm just gonna hit on some comments here before we head out. Leroy Boss says for overtime, do the college-style rules, but put teams on the 2-yard line for one play apiece. Jeez, that would be interesting. I'm not seeing too many other things.
I see Wookie Collin agrees with me. Sudden death didn't bother me at all. Thank you, Wookie. Thank you, Wookie. Oh.
We are gonna wrap this one up. We've been on for about I think an hour and a half, 40 minutes. We also included the coverage of the Broncos and Patriots overtime game as well. But again, check us out on Facebook, Idiot Sports Talk. Wake Up It's Football. Both of them are on there. You can check us out on Twitter as well. And don't forget to check out FanDuel.com. Click the links down below for that as well. But Ezra, man, same time next week.
Yes, sir. And you know what? About time next Wednesday, I should be picking up my PS4. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
So I'll be revealing my. I want to say gamer tag, but that's Xbox. They use gamer tag. My PSN. Okay, so if you guys got PS4, we'll play some games together. Even though there's no games really right now that I want for PS4. Maybe some Battlefield 4. I'm tired of Call of Duty. Maybe I don't even know what game I want. It's all right. I'm eating some panini this Thursday and watch Jets next Sunday take the wild card spot.
All right, so everybody, Wookie Collin, Leroy Boss, Black Mamba, Elliot Mock. We missing anybody?
We got the Starkey,
New York Knicks Fly High. All you guys commenting tonight, we appreciate it. Without you guys, the show wouldn't run as smooth as it does. We need your comments. We need your feedback. We need your input. So we appreciate it. I'm Dave from Wake Up It's Football. You got Ezra.
Hey, we need your air hugs. Give me an air hug, guys. Give me an air hug.
How about a high five?
I said an air hug. You always want to change it up, David. Unbelievable.
Hey.
That's why Aaron Rodgers is hurt.
Shut up.